The Generation Cowboys and Sports Talk. My dad, my partner, my co-host, Cowboy Joe 64.
I am the father.
Just to get the Cowboys 2 good games to hopefully understand that they need to go receiver and go high with this next pick.
Yeah, yeah, that's really what this is gonna be about. All right, you're looking live at Father and Son Cowboys and Sports Talks. I'm the host, DJ. I tell you what, aka Jules, and I'm with my dad, Cowboy Joe 64 on Twitter, and we are back we are back for the first time since we are back for the first time since we were put in a chokehold and slammed and just everything that you want to everything that you can analogy that you can think of with the whole Michael situation, man. So you know, uh, you want to say what's up to the people, and then but before you do, uh, yeah, we been talking about the Micah situation for a long time, and obviously none of us thought that this would this could happen, but it obviously did. So uh, I got a few things I'm gonna say about it. But yeah, you want to go ahead and say what's up to everybody?
So yeah, we kind of had a little hiatus. Of course, just been some other things going on, and so but yeah, we glad to be back and just had to just kind of sit back and look at you know some of the other content creators and where they felt on the thing. I saw Lou's takes. Shout out to Lou. Saw his first video. He was livid. Um, CFT wasn't happy about it. J Tuck was livid. And then I watched Boss, the DC Universe show they put together. I watched some of it last night. So
What's up, B Bird?
what's
We
up,
got
B Bird?
we really gotta talk to we gotta talk to B Bird.
Yeah, we're gonna do our Wednesday show with B Bird if he's still up for that. And
Yeah, cool.
we got another thing we want to try to do with that Wednesday segment. See, make sure that B Bird is good for that. But yeah, it's for us, it was a little different because, like I said, we had some interaction with Micah and his agent back in June, and then when Micah was drafted, you were the first one that I knew that said, he was a generational player. We should draft him, and he fell to us. So you've been a fan from day one. So it's tough, but like I've been saying the last couple of days, at the end of the day, we're fans of the team. We're definitely going to speak on it, and then we're gonna rally behind the players that are on the team. CD, Overshawn, Diggs. So at the end of the day, we're fans of the team, and I think Jerry, he doesn't deserve to get a win by fans like us. Just saying that we're not gonna watch the games, they're not gonna pull for the teams. I don't think that's a cool way to approach it. The team is bigger than him. And then, I was thinking about this the other day. You're in your mid 30s. At some point, Jerry's not gonna be the owner of the team. Doing your generation of watching the game.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's kind of a thing where I get your thoughts on it. What happened. This was always the potential. It was a 10% a teapot, and because Micah is just not that dude. He was going to go, just balls to the wall with this. That's exactly what was going to happen. And Jerry, them two mixing it up the way it did, is just that's kind of what you think would happen, and that's kind of what happened.
Yeah. Yeah. The bottom line is, I mean, it's a black and white situation. I look at it like this. You can just, without beating around the bush, you can say exactly what it is. What happened is, uh, Jerry and Micah did not come to an agreement as far as contract, and then it was they actually came to an agreement first, and then Micah, tried to start the negotiation back up and tried to get the agent involved and do things the right way after talking to Jerry, which he should have never done. But we lost a good player. We lost probably the best player that we've had, you know, since. I mean, I'm in my mid 30s, so I did get to see Playmaker and Emmett and Troy and all of that. But after that, definitely the best player since then. So I mean, it is what it is.
Probably Zeke, his rookie year. Um, you
Maybe
saw some great offensive line play, and
no,
nothing like him. Yeah,
nothing like that. I mean, nothing like Micah. I mean, and then like I said, so the thing with Micah
you
is, I
probably
mean,
would put Dak up there, right?
yeah, you know, he's probably his rookie year for sure. And then but I mean, Micah is, when you look at it, we got now. This is what I keep telling people, because some days I wake up and it's real hard for me to just it's real hard for me to be excited, because some days I wake up and I'm just like, man, I cannot believe that this actually happened. I can't believe that they actually traded him, because you know it's just, I just can't believe it. But at the same time, I always say this: if I was running this team and you told me that I had traded Michael Parsons and I got 2 first round picks for him, which I wish we would have got more. If they always get hosed.
They should have got more.
I should have got more. But if this was my team and I was running a team, or if anybody with sense was running the team, and you said you traded Michael Parsons, you got 2 first round picks for him, and you got you got a defensive tackle, Kenny Clark, who's awesome at stopping in the run. So you fixed your defensive tackle, you fixed that position, and then you got 2 first round picks. Me, what I would be able to do with that would be able to set this team apart from for the rest of the NFL for the next 5 or 6 years. I would be able to do that. I would come out of this thing with, no doubt, it would be players that I come out of this thing with, that I purposely pinpointed and said I'm going to get that guy. Like, for instance, Colin Simmons. There will be no question in my mind that I would have him on my team in 2 years. Whenever he comes out of the league, he would be on my team. I have the capability to make it happen, because I have 4 first round picks over the next 2 years. So if I got to package up a 2 and a 3 or a 1 and a 2 or whatever to move up to draft him, that's what I would do. And then on top of that, if you told me that I can get my, let's just say, forget the four picks. Let's just say you combine your 2 picks next year, and you combine your two picks the year after that, and you only get one player each draft. I would be able to get the next quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys next year, and then I would be able to get Colin Simmons, or a player like Colin Simmons, and then that's at the bare minimum. And if I did that, I mean, this trade would have made me better, because I got the quarterback of the future, and I got, let's just say, if like a Lamar Jackson type of player is out there, I got the Lamar Jackson of the future, and I got the Micah of the future, and Colin or whoever. And I got cap space now. So, which, like I said, this is if I was running the team, because with the Joneses, the way that they run things, I keep telling people this: the way that they run things is not the way we would want them to run things. But if you're gonna draw a line in the sand, and if you want to look at this thing and say, hey, is this the dawn of a new day? This is what would happen if this was a dawn of a new day. If this was the contract that they said, you know what, we're not gonna make him the highest paid, and we're gonna trade him and get some picks, and we're not paying his contract. We're not doing that. We're going to pay our guys that we have: Deron Bland, Tyler Smith, George Pickens, and we're gonna use our draft capital that we got from this pick, and we're gonna be we can be aggressive in free agency next year. If they did, if those things that I just said, if well, be where, well, why I'm always looking. So okay, I gotta. So that's why I said I needed to talk to B Bird anyway, because B Bird, I wanted to talk to you so you could help me out with this Micah thing. I need you to help me out. I need you to, because my dad has done a good job, but My dad, I feel it. Me and him we really pretty bummed out about it. We feel the same way. So I need to talk to somebody that can make me feel better about it. So it's just well, like I was saying, if you can do all of those things, then yeah, I would be able to make this a
So,
better.
so I think
Hold on.
what you're saying is you're just saying if the opportunity presents itself, you would get the quarterback for the future.
Yeah. So why
And
are we
and
looking for the
and
quarterback of the
yeah,
future when we just
and
signed our
and
quarterback to the
and
biggest
say
contract?
this, say this. Now you are a Dak guy 100%.
Yeah.
I'm not as big a Dak guy as you are.
Yeah.
Uh,
Well,
what
see,
I
so and I got to say this. I'm a dat guy because I don't think that this game that we call football that we obsessed with that I've been playing my entire life that I'm just glued to. It's not a quarterback sport. Your quarterback doesn't mean what everybody think it means. Your quarterback. This is a team sport. You can have the best quarterback you can have the best quarterback in the world. If you have a bad offensive head coach, if you have a bad head coach, and if you have a terrible line and a terrible defense and terrible wide receivers, it's not going to mean anything. You can have Patrick
yeah.
Mahomes. If you have Patrick Mahomes or Tom Brady, but you don't have a good defensive line, or you don't have a good offensive line, or you don't have a good offensive coordinator, or you don't have a good head coach, then it won't matter who the quarterback is. So my thing is, if Patrick Mahomes was a Dallas Cowboy, would the Cowboys have championships? They would not, because you don't win championships with with coaches like Jason Garrett for 10 years. If 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 Tom Brady was the quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys, would they have championships? They would not. You know why they would not? Because they draft people like Taco and Mozzie, and they pass on
Mm,
players like J Watt. So no, they would not have championships because it's not a quarterback thing. It's just like
yeah,
your quarterback plays good, but everybody else has to play good too. And
right.
so,
But
you know,
you're a Dak guy through and through.
I
But
am.
I do want to say this about Dak. Um, I think what we finna see now with this trade, I think the timeline for Dak to win a championship, it may be smaller. So I
Thank you.
think that I think
Um,
I
just
uh,
Bieber just echo what I was saying.
yeah, that's correct. So I think you guys are on the same page on that. So I think with what happened with this trade, what you see with CD, Jake Ferguson, the window for this team, you looking at a 3-year window for them to try to win a championship. I don't know if Dak is going to make that fourth or fifth year. So there is some sense of urgency now with this trade, but let's just go back to what you were saying about the picks. Here's a problem that I have with them, and we're gonna move on from the Michael thing pretty quick. It's just football from the start, but the thing about this trade that was just incredibly stupid is that they talked about the Herschel Walker trade. This wasn't the Herschel Walker trade. This was the Charles Haley trade. If this was the 49ers trading Charles Haley to the Cowboys. Now, the Packers, they're not the Cowboys of the 90s. Is it Jordan Love?
Hmm.
He took a step back last year. I'm not even really sure he's as good as people think he is. I don't know if their team is overall good. You don't think they are,
Hmm.
but the possibility that you traded Charles Haley to the Packers is there. And so what I'm saying is, for me, the front office, for Jerry, Steven, Charlotte, Will McClay, for them to all sit there in a meeting and say, we're not going to sign Micah, we're going to trade him, but we're going to trade him to the Packers. Incredibly stupid. And you could have just waited, and you probably could have got more for him. The trade for me, it has to start with two ones and two twos, or 3 ones, but that's neither here or there, as Bieber would say. But my thing is with them, if these picks are in the low 20s, I don't trust this front office, this scouting department to pick good players. They just haven't shown that they can do it. Now, can you move up? You're going to have the 4 1s over the next 2 years, but you're also going to have twos and threes and fours.
Hmm.
So you got enough picks to do what Jimmy did. Jimmy had all of those picks. That's how he built the team.
Mm-hmm.
And Jimmy also did fifth round picks and sixth round picks and seventh round picks. He used every round to build a team. So when you look at our team right now, you start adding up these picks. It's going to be some guys that are on this team right now. They're just simply not going to be on the team. But the question is going to be, do you take the picks and do a good job with them? And so that's the only concern I have is, who's picking the players, because in the last few years, over the years, they haven't done a good job with drafting. They have a lot of accolades for being a great drafting team, but clearly we can show that they're not.
That's easy to do. And then, but see, like I'm gonna say this: if they draft well with these picks, and if they're aggressive in free agency next year,
Yeah,
we are a way better team in the next 5 years than we would have been.
and that's the other piece. The free agency, they run out of runway with not being able to participate in free agency. They have the money to do it now. So what are they going to do? Because they can take this opportunity right here and just knock it out of the park. And we're sitting here and we have a team that's able to compete with the Ravens, with the Chiefs, with all of these teams, the Eagles. You can literally put together a super team. But
you can. You definitely can.
Keith, we were reaching out to you earlier. I don't think you got my message. But yeah, they got a chance to do it. So that being the case, I do want to talk about Dak and some of the comments that were coming out of the locker room. So as usual, there's somebody in the front office trying to use the media to disparage Micah, like he wasn't liked in the locker room. And so did you think Dak's comments were kind of odd? Did you hear his comments?
No, I heard his comments. I didn't think his comments was kind of odd.
Well, that's just Dak.
What comments are you talking about?
He basically said that they didn't really need to have a team meeting. They didn't need to really talk about the trade, what happened. And it was because I was listening to the boss show, the DC Universe, and everybody was kind of had the same opinion that I had, that they just felt like, Dak is corporate, Dak is being Dak. And
no, I don't.
You didn't feel that?
Nope. And I watched that interview 2 or 3 times.
So what did you think? Dak is just ready to play. That's basically what you got out of it.
Yeah, and Dak was just like, I don't need to have a meeting with everybody. Why do we need to have a meeting and talk about Micah being traded? Micah has been traded. So we got to go out here and play Philadelphia. I didn't have to have a meeting. And Micah, and Dak was just like,
So what did
shocked and just like everybody else.
So what did Diggs and those guys? CD and Diggs made comments. I think I saw something that Diggs said.
No, CD made a lot of comments, and his comments was like, he CD is gonna always tell it like it is, and that's exactly what he did.
So what did he say?
We didn't like the trade. It shocked us. We hate having a player go up against him. We hate having to go up against him. He's unguardable. He's unstoppable. He was real close with everybody in the locker room. So we don't really, it's just messed up. It's sad. It's messed up, and it's just that's just the way it is. This is a business, but at the end of the day, it's messed up. Because CD was the one that was saying, here we go with the nonsense. Just pay this dude. You know what I mean? Here we go with the crap. But thing is, this is not the season ending type of thing. You know what I mean? It's just like, okay, we lost Micah Parsons, but is our season over with? It's not. If I had us being a 10-win team with Micah, I got us being a 9-win team without him. So because it's just not like So Micah is a hell of a player, but we also gotta continue to play. And
Kenny Clark is a good player.
He is, and so he is. He's a good player at a position of need that
He's gonna start with Osa.
He's gonna start with Osa. It would not surprise me at all if this team is a 10-win team. That wouldn't surprise me. And the other thing that wouldn't surprise me neither, and I'm going on record saying this, it wouldn't surprise me that if Luka being traded and Micah being traded be the things that got this team over the hump. I mean, they got both teams over the hump. That wouldn't surprise me.
It's possible. I think the Cowboys are going to have a good season. I've been saying this weeks and months ago. I think we're going to be a
Yeah.
second half team. We're going to be a better team the last part of the season once
Mhm.
everybody gels. And they could still make a couple of more moves. They have the money and the picks to do it. And so, it wouldn't shock me if they end up having a good season despite the trade. But yeah,
I
it's
think they are going to have a good season. I don't think it's anything. I mean, I think they're going to have a good season. To me, honestly, we haven't seen a coach use Micah the way we would have used him yet. Micah get
yeah.
double teamed every play. They of course we would love to have Micah, but we don't have Micah. Are we gonna be are we a worser team? I think we are. But are we gonna not make it in the playoffs because we don't have Micah? No.
Yeah, I think that's, at the end of the day, we got enough guys to play. And as I said, we got enough guys coming back, Overshawn, Diggs. They're going to be better the second half of the season. I do like the Bland deal. Hopefully, they get Tyler Smith signed. They will be really smart to sign George Pickens now and just do it. That would just be the kind of move they would do after making this move with Micah. They just go out and sign Pickens. Just at this point, it's a makeup call. That's what we're in. We're in a makeup call phase, like an NBA game. The refs, they blow
Yeah.
a call on the end, they come down on the other end, and so that's kind of where we are. So, but
A lot of the questions they see, like the big piece is that Micah is gone. But here's the thing, like I said, with Micah being gone, there's so many things that now that you have to do by default that you wouldn't gonna be able to do. Like for
yeah,
instance, like for instance, you got Micah's gone, but now you for sure can sign Tyler Smith. You just signed Bland. You can for sure sign Pickens now. You can definitely you don't have that big chunk of a salary cap going to Micah. So you got two you
I
got
would
four.
make a trade for a running back.
You can do that. You know what I mean?
Mm.
You can do that, and it ain't gonna be it ain't gonna
Because
hit you.
the old school Cowboy fans like me, this team has never been successful with average running backs. I haven't seen it yet. I don't think we're gonna see it, and I think the guys that we have, they're average. But the thing is, who are you gonna make a trade for? That type of thing. Last year you had a chance to you would already have your back.
Yeah, and then like
Mm.
you can do it going forward. You can use one of your picks on the back. And then also, like I said, like you said, this team has never had um, success without a star back, but this team has never ever had a dynamic duo receiver like they have now.
Yeah.
They've
Well,
never
we've had it before.
with
Not
who?
not like during your generation, but yeah.
Yeah, I about to say because I don't remember anybody being as good as CD and Pickens.
Yeah, so in my generation, you had Drew and Tony, obviously way
Oh
before
yeah,
your time, but we've had it. And then in the '90s, Michael Irvin and Harper. I mean, Harper, you don't them championships you won. You know, that was that was pretty dynamic.
yeah, I agree, but I mean
You
we
talking
haven't.
about a Hall of Fame receiver, and then your number two receiver. They don't win a lot of them games without him. I mean, he was like big time. I'm talking about every moment he stepped up and just made plays. So yeah,
I'm gonna just say it like this: if your tackles if your tackles play league average this year, you're a playoff team. Simply plain. If your tackles, if your left tackle and your right tackle can play league average, you're a playoff team. The question is, what are you gonna do once you get into the playoffs? That's the question. It's really not
yeah.
nothing else. This team is not a six or not a 5 or 6 win team. This is a double digit win team with or without Micah. So
I think they're gonna get out with a slow start. I think you're talking about the first 7 or 8 games. It wouldn't surprise me if we're 4-7. 4-4. But again, I think we're gonna be a better second half team. The other teams in our division, they play the same schedule. I think the Eagles are going to take a step back. I just think they naturally will because they won the Super Bowl. Uh,
I think
I,
the
I
Eagles.
don't fear the Commanders.
Me neither. I think the Eagles gonna finish third in the division. That's what I think.
The team you better watch out for is the Giants. So
Yeah.
we play them the second game. I think they're going to eventually have Dart as the quarterback. Um, but yeah, it's we're gonna kind of see how this thing play out. Like I said, we got a lot of football to play. We're not happy with the way things went. Shout out to Micah and his team. Micah, he's his own corporation. He got his money. You saw his video. He was celebrating. So at the end of the day, Micah, he was not the guy that you're gonna play around with. And then Jerry was doing the same thing on his end. So that's how this was probably gonna go. Wish it had ended up being a different way, but it is what it is. Now it's
You got
time to play.
Yeah, you got two strong people. I mean, you got two people that really, they don't, they wasn't, Michael wasn't gonna do what Dak and CD did, and Jerry wasn't gonna do what he did with them either. Jerry shouldn't have never tried to pull Michael to the side to begin with, and then Michael should have never
Never
when
talk to him.
yeah, and then especially if when it all falls down, and then Micah says, "All right, man, I learned my lesson, and you taught me a lesson in negotiations and all of this stuff in the NFL business. Now let's just get this done and play football." And then Jerry says, "No, you're gonna play on $25 million on your
Yeah,
last year or walk."
that
And
was that was uh that
that was
was low. That was low. That was sorry on his part.
it
So
was
like people, like I
man, like
said, Jerry.
we not fans of Jerry and
Mm-mm.
Jones and Steven and all of them. That's not what we're here for. We got to support Dak, CD, the players, and hell, we even got to support Shotty. But like in reality, let's not act like us losing Micah means that this season is over and that this team is now gonna have 3 or 4 wins because Micah gone. It just don't work like that. Yeah, Micah give us a couple wins, a win, maybe a win. Vegas. I think Vegas didn't even have him a whole win. I think Vegas had us at like 7.5, I think, or 8, and then without Micah, they got us at like 7.5. So
Yeah,
it's not really like it's a big deal, but it ain't a big deal. It's just like what
yeah,
I'm saying. It's really just from a football from a fan's perspective. It's just that we're in our feelings because we like Micah as a person, as a player. We like to see him, and we love Micah. But the thing about it is this team like only moving if Micah is on this team? That's not true. Dak, CD, Pickens, our offense is still gonna be high flying. Uh,
yeah. I'm excited for Bland, and if they smart, they go ahead and just get things settled with Diggs. It ain't no reason to be trying to get rid of Diggs. If Diggs comes back and plays, what you should be doing is I'm gonna make teams line up against Bland and Diggs. I like Elam,
mhm,
and
mhm.
if Ravel gets healthy later, I'm just gonna make you line up and play him. Um, so
And then on
on
top
a
of that,
couple,
you can't just run the ball on us either. You can't just do that. You can't just do
yeah,
that.
you're gonna see our run defense. It's gonna get better. And of course, I tried to talk about the run defense. You had all offseason to do that, but that was a whole nother story.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
I see
they
Flournoy signed back on the practice squad, so that was good.
mhm.
Now did Izzy make it back on the practice squad?
I
I
don't
didn't
think
hear about Izzy.
me neither. I didn't hear about that.
So Flournoy did make it back, so
Yeah.
that's good. So him and Jalen Brooks on the practice squad.
Mhm.
They got a couple other guys that made it back. So I mean, I think the way the team is shaping up, they got a good roster. And there's some guys on the team that it's gonna be their time to step up. You're
Mhm.
gonna see them kind of just getting cycled out too. So, but yeah, so we can go ahead and wrap. I'm working on this other thing that you had me working on. I want to try to do something here when we get off here
All
and
right.
try to do this thing up here. But we'll come back on Wednesday.
Oh yeah.
I reach out to B Bird to set that up, and then that'll be the night before the Eagles game. So
Yeah.
it's gonna be a lot to talk about.
It's gonna be a lot to talk about, I'm still my prediction still hasn't changed. I still think that we're gonna beat the Eagles Thursday. So
Well, you finna see.
yeah. So we appreciate y'all for coming back. We had to take a hiatus and get our minds together. Because this did change the next 5 years of the Cowboys. This trade did. You got a whole bunch of assets. You lost a critical piece of the previous team or the previous regime in Micah, but you did. It's a whole lot of optimism as far as what they can do with everything that they got. If this was my team or if this was somebody else's team, we would be able to make this team better with what we got.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
we'll see if they do it, but we appreciate y'all for rocking with us, and y'all make sure y'all like, comment, and subscribe, and be on the lookout for us. We're gonna probably come back Wednesday, or if something else happens between now and then, we'll pop back on. So we appreciate everybody, and we'll see y'all on the next one.